So habits come from environment. Your environment is the mental feeding ground from which all your habits are extracted. So when you see people in gangs, gangster disciples, vice lords, bloods, crips, Latin kings, think about it. What else are they supposed to do? I want you to think about this for a minute. Lower class, and I don't mean that in a condescending way, lower income families, depending on where you live, let's just use California, Chicago, they're going to join gangs because that's their extended family. That's the environment. That's the mental feeding ground from which things are extracted. So if you grow up on this block, you're going to be a GD. If you grow up on this block, you're going to be a Paru. If you grow up on this block, you're going to be. So it's the mental feeding ground. So what do middle class people do? They join organizations because they're in college. I'm going to be an Omega. I'm going to be a Kappa. I'm going to be an Alpha. I'm going to be a Delta. I'm an AKA. That's your gang. It's no different. It's just that you're not doing the things they're doing when they don't have no money because you got money. If you didn't, you wouldn't have pledged. You wouldn't even be in college. In other words, you might not have money, but something is funding you. You see? So it's really no different. Like, that's why I don't knock people who do those type of things, because I understand you're just a product of the mental feeding ground that your environment is providing for you. You can't be judgmental. So people that are in higher or upper middle class, they join golf clubs. That's their Crips and Bloods. They just play golf with their buddies. They don't have to shoot and rob and do drugs and jack people. It's the reality of the situation. I want you guys to understand that if you understand that your environment is the mental feeding ground from which everything is extracted, if you can't physically change your location right now, I promise you, you damn sure can change the people you associate with. Now that I know, because I had to do it. That I know. Now, back to a definition here. Your environment is the sum total of the sources that you are influenced by, with the sum total of your 5 senses. In other words, everything you see, everything you hear, everything you touch, right? Everything you smell, everything you taste, these things shape and mold who you are. If you tell a baby every single day, I hate you, 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 that baby is going to age. If you never touch a baby will eventually pass away. A baby needs to be touched. A baby needs to be heard. A baby needs to be understood. A brand new baby needs to be held. If not, a brand new baby will die. That's how important your 5 senses are. If you tell that same baby, I love you, you're my angel, you are my everything, or whatever your positive words of affirmation are, that baby is going to smile. They don't even understand what you're saying verbally, but they understand the feeling. They're being held gently. You're not shaking or rattling the child. Therefore, that touch and smell and sight and that vision, they're hearing, all of those things start to grow. You can't tell me you aren't the sum total of your 5 senses, but your 5 senses are derived from the environment that you're around. If you can't change the people around you, you need to change the people around you. Now just think about that for a second. If you can't change the people around you, then you need to change the people around you. And I've just made up my mind a long time ago. I wasn't going to try to change everybody around me. What I had to do was I had to change, and then I just allowed the people who wanted a piece of what I was teaching and what I was learning, they came with me. But I refused to go back and pull everybody and make sure we all change together. The kumbaya days for me ended a long time ago. So on the webinar, environment largely supplies the food and material out of which you create your thoughts, and our thoughts crystallize into permanency, which create habits. Whew, let me say that again. That's important. See, you can't change your habits until you change your environment. This is crucial. You can't change your habits until you change your environment. Your environment largely supplies the food and material out of which we create our thoughts. I just talked about that, right? From gangs to sororities and fraternities to golf clubs and private clubs. Your habits are derived from your environment. Your environment, okay, is where we get our thoughts. And our thoughts are what crystallize into permanency and create your habits. So if you were to draw like a little graph, environment equals food and material. Food and material equals thoughts. Thoughts equal permanency. So it all starts with your environment. So if you live in the projects right now, you don't have to be of that environment just because you're in that environment. You see what I'm saying? I got a lot of friends that got out of the projects. You know, the projects today aren't what they used to be back in the day, but you understand what I'm saying? If you're in an apartment or an area that you don't like, I'm talking about literally your environment, you can be in that place, but not of that place. You see? So you have to be able to change and get out of that place. And pretty soon you will be out of that place. If you get out of that place, eventually you will be out of that place. Now I'm talking about mental and physical.